Did you know that nearly 70% of wealthy families lose their fortunes by the second generation? This shocking statistic shows that simply having money isn't enough. Wealthy families understand that the real key to success lies in the education they provide their children, an education that goes far beyond what schools teach. While many kids sit in classrooms learning math and science, rich kids are busy learning life skills that will set them up for success. They are taught how to manage money, build networks, and think like leaders. According to a report by the Kauffman Foundation, about 40% of rich kids will become entrepreneurs, a number significantly higher than the general population. In this video, we will uncover the hidden lessons that wealthy families pass down. You'll discover how they prepare their kids to think differently about money, relationships, and success. From financial literacy to global networking, the rich provide their children with tools that most people never even see. Join us as we explore how these strategies work and what you can learn from them. It's time to take a closer look at the secrets behind the education of the wealthy and how it can change the way you think about success. Chapter 1. The Secret Blueprint. How the wealthy design a legacy from birth. From the moment they're born, children of the rich aren't just raised, they're crafted. Wealthy families often think in terms of legacy, planning for generations ahead. They don't just focus on material wealth, they think about shaping character, leadership, and influence. A 2018 study by WealthX found that 56% of ultra-high net worth individuals attribute their success to the values instilled in them by their families. This isn't by accident. Early on, children in wealthy families are exposed to ideas about risk-taking, problem-solving, and leadership. They grow up hearing about business decisions at the dinner table. They're taught to ask questions and look for opportunities in everyday life. While most kids are taught to play it safe, rich kids are encouraged to experiment and embrace failure as a learning tool. One hidden strategy is introducing children to entrepreneurship at a young age. Instead of just giving an allowance, some parents create mini businesses for their kids, where they learn how to manage profits and losses. By the time these kids hit their teenage years, they've already had real-world experience with money, giving them a huge head start. In addition to business, wealthy families place importance on exposure to different cultures, industries, and powerful networks. Studies show that children raised in high-net-worth households are 70% more likely to be involved in leadership roles later in life, partially because they're given early access to influential circles. This level of exposure is not something money alone can buy. It's a carefully curated strategy to create future leaders. Chapter 2. Elite Exposure. Life skills you won't find in textbooks. The rich know that some of the most important lessons aren't learned in classrooms. They believe in learning by doing, and more importantly, by living. This chapter dives into the specific life skills wealthy children gain through experiences that are far beyond the reach of traditional education. One of the biggest assets they gain is cultural literacy. From a young age, these children travel extensively. They don't just visit tourist spots, they get immersed in different cultures, meet local business leaders, and sometimes even attend elite events like art auctions or global conferences. According to the World Wealth Report, 82% of high-net-worth families prioritize international experiences for their children as part of their education strategy. These experiences build a broader worldview and help them understand global markets, trends, and opportunities in a way that textbooks simply can't replicate. Another hidden lesson comes from social capital. Networking isn't just about making friends, it's a tool for success. Rich kids are trained early on to develop relationships that can provide opportunities in the future. Whether it's through elite boarding schools or luxury summer camps, they're constantly surrounded by future leaders and influencers. Learning how to navigate these relationships with charm, diplomacy, and confidence becomes second nature. Interestingly, the wealthy often emphasize emotional intelligence just as much as traditional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, or EQ, has been shown to be a greater predictor of success than IQ, especially in leadership roles. According to Daniel Goleman, author of Emotional Intelligence, EQ accounts for nearly 90% of what sets high performers apart. Elite families ensure their children can read a room, negotiate gracefully, and manage emotions under pressure, skills that go far beyond what school teaches. Chapter 3. Invisible Mentors. How the rich learn without traditional teachers. When we think about education, we usually picture teachers, schools, and textbooks. But for the wealthy, much of their learning comes from invisible mentors, people who guide them without the formal title of teacher. This is one of the most powerful secrets behind how the rich educate their kids. In wealthy circles, mentors come in many forms: coaches, family business advisors, investors, and even close friends of the family. Many kids are paired with mentors from an early age, often without realizing it. Instead of giving them the answers, these mentors help them think critically, solve problems, and make decisions on their own. This kind of mentorship is more common than you might think. A report by UBS found that 61% of ultra-wealthy individuals credited their success to key mentors in their youth. One strategy is hiring private family coaches to guide children on business, finance, or even personal development. These coaches don't just teach. They build a long-term relationship where the child learns through both advice and experience. It's a personalized education that you simply won't find in traditional schooling. Additionally, many wealthy families create informal mastermind groups for their kids. These are small groups of peers who meet regularly to discuss ideas, share experiences, and brainstorm solutions to problems. It's like having a personal think tank, and it's an idea borrowed from some of the world's most successful entrepreneurs. The mentors rich kids have access to also teach them how to navigate failure. Unlike in traditional schools, where failure is often seen as something to avoid, the wealthy treat it as a stepping stone. They're encouraged to take calculated risks and learn from the outcomes, positive or negative. This mindset, according to psychologist Carol Dweck, promotes a growth mindset, where intelligence and abilities can be developed over time, which is critical for long-term success. Chapter 4. Money as a tool, not a goal. The unique financial education of the wealthy. We often think of money as the ultimate goal, but for the wealthy, money is simply a tool to create freedom, opportunity, and impact. From a young age, children of rich families are taught that money is a resource, not an end. This shift in thinking completely changes how they approach wealth building and financial decisions. One of the first things they learn is the concept of leverage. While most people are taught to save and invest cautiously, the rich learn how to use other people's money, OPM, to grow their own wealth. They master this early through family businesses or investments, understanding that debt, when managed correctly, can fuel bigger opportunities. A study by the Family Business Institute shows that 74% of wealthy families actively involve their children in managing family investments, which exposes them to these ideas early. Wealthy kids are also taught to see money as a way to buy back their time. Instead of spending countless hours on tasks that don't add value to their lives, they learn to delegate or automate those tasks. By doing so, they free up time for higher-level thinking and activities that bring greater returns, whether it's through investments, creating businesses, or personal development. One interesting fact is that most wealthy individuals live by the 10/90ths rule. They spend only 10% of their time managing their current finances and 90% planning how to grow them. This approach ensures they aren't bogged down in the day-to-day management of money but instead focus on long-term growth. Also, rich families focus on risk management. They aren't reckless with money, but they don't avoid risks either. Instead, they learn how to calculate risks, understanding that a calculated risk is often the key to a huge payoff. A report from J.P. Morgan shows that high-net-worth individuals allocate a significant portion of their assets into high-risk, high-reward investments. Teaching kids about risk is crucial, so they aren't afraid to make big moves when the time is right. Chapter 5. Curating a global network. The art of strategic relationship building. While most of us are taught to make friends, the wealthy are taught to build a network. And this isn't just any network, it's a global one. Wealthy children are trained to cultivate relationships with people who can provide opportunities, open doors, or offer unique insights. This is where social capital comes in. One of the biggest advantages the rich have is access to exclusive circles. From elite boarding schools to private clubs, their children are exposed to high-level connections from an early age. According to the World Economic Forum, 75% of ultra-wealthy families send their children to private schools where the value lies as much in the relationships they form as in the education they receive. But it's not just about who you know, it's about how you manage those relationships. The rich often have personal coaches or advisors who help them learn the fine art of networking. They are taught how to offer value in a relationship, not just take. This mutual value exchange makes their connections much stronger and more meaningful. One strategy they use is the idea of the long game. Wealthy families teach their kids to build relationships that may not have immediate benefits but could be valuable years down the road. This is the opposite of the transactional relationships most people build. For example, one study by Harvard Business Review found that the most successful leaders have networks that span diverse industries, allowing them to draw from multiple fields for inspiration and opportunities. And then there's strategic giving. The rich often donate or get involved in philanthropic efforts not just to do good, but to connect with other like-minded individuals. Charity events, galas, and fundraisers are all networking opportunities. By getting involved in these events, they not only contribute to society but also create strong bonds with other influencers. If you found this information eye-opening, make sure to subscribe to our channel. By subscribing, you'll get access to more insights and strategies that can help you rethink your own approach to success and wealth. Don't miss out on the chance to learn more.